And we care about love too and partnership, but I think, the energy that has been put into our careers and continuing to want to do the things that we do for ourselves and for the people is like, it was hard for me to balance all of that and keep the relationship.
I'd give you a duplex, an eightplex or something. The homegirls be like, where your ring? I thought you was engaged. Where your ring? Where your carrots? Carrots.
Did Colin just get caught red-handed cheating on Jennifer Hudson? Because Tiffany Haddish sure seems to think so, and she has been clowning Jennifer like it's a comedy show. Not everybody and their mama knows the details, but Tiffany is heated that Common moved on from her to J. Hud, and now it looks like she's finally plotting her revenge in the pettiest way possible. The whispers in the streets been loud. People been trying to warn Jennifer that Common ain't the fairy tale man she thought he was. He's got a long track record of leaving women with broken hearts. And now it looks like J. Hud might just be the next name added to the list. Word on the block is that he already got a brand new woman by his side, while Jennifer has been spiraling behind the scenes trying to keep it together. And you want to know who's enjoying every single second of this drama? Tiffany Haddish, of course.
Well, I think once Tiffany and I got back on the move, it really didn't allow for us to spend as much time and put as much energy into our relationship.
She's out here playing the role of the bitter ex with pride, not even trying to hide the fact that she's loving every minute of J. Hud's pain. On top of that, Tiffany's been tossing shade so slick, so subtle, but so sharp that everybody can see it. The question everyone's asking is simple. Why would Common cheat on Jennifer Hudson of all people? And even bigger, who exactly is this new mystery woman he's parading around with?
But that being said, it's one of those things where I'm like always looking at my life and saying, okay, because that's a strong choice to make, And,
Absolutely. Not to be taken.
And is Tiffany actually plotting to win Common back? Well, let me break it down, because this whole mess is louder than a courtroom testimony. Now, I'm not trying to kick Jennifer Hudson while she's already down, but honestly, anyone paying attention could have seen this one coming from a mile away. Common has never been the forever type. No matter how smooth he tries to make it look, his history speaks louder than his words. Look at the receipts: high-profile flings, short-lived romances, and a dating record that practically screams commitment issues.
I don't think the love really dispersed. I just think it was just like we weren't feeding the relationship. And as you said, neither one of us is gonna stop. Like we both care about our crafts and what we do.
Still, fans held out hope that maybe, just maybe, Jennifer Hudson would be the one to finally change the game. People really thought she could be the woman to slow him down, lock him in, and maybe even start a brand new family with him. But now, that dream looks dead and buried. The streets are buzzing with talk that Common has been cheating on J. Hud heavy, and word is she's completely crushed over it.
I'm gonna do what's good for me and the lady. Right now, all I want is happiness, good times, peace on earth.
What makes it even more outrageous is the fact that this same man was just out here declaring to the world that she was the one. He was even dropping hints about marriage, talking about rings and forever love. But all the while, homeboy was out here moving wild, running the streets and spreading his attention all over town. While plenty of people feel bad for Jennifer, let's be real. Tiffany Haddish is not one of them. She's watching all of this unfold like it's her favorite show, and she's not shedding a single tear for J. Hud's heartbreak. An anonymous insider is spilling tea, saying Tiffany has been loving every single second of this cheating scandal exploding in public. And honestly, if you've been keeping up with Tiffany's antics ever since her split with Common, this shouldn't shock you one bit. She's never been shy about showing that she's still hung up on him, even years later. And this drama is basically her front row entertainment.
So as far as Jenny Jen,
I love Jenny.
Absolutely, we are together, and I just appreciate her as a partner, as a woman,
Tiffany has been tossing shade for ages, and some of those jabs made it pretty clear she always believed Common cheated on her with J. Hud in the first place. One of the most talked about moments went down during an Instagram Live when a fan mentioned they had gifted Common a pair of earrings to pass on to her and asked Tiffany if she ever got them. She didn't even pause before clapping back with that signature bitterness. Her exact response? She fired off, "Girl, he never gave me no earrings. He probably gave them to Jennifer." The way she said it had everybody side-eyeing Common like, wait a minute, was she really hinting at what was happening behind the scenes? Tiffany wasn't just joking around, she sounded dead serious. So now the big question is floating heavy in the comments. Was Jennifer Hudson really messing with Common while he was still tied up with Tiffany? Because if that's true, then Tiffany's long-standing shade, her slick digs, and her whole bitter energy suddenly make way more sense than people wanted to admit. It also explains why Tiffany seems to be enjoying every single second of this cheating scandal. Because to her, this is karma finally coming full circle.
And Jennifer is the person.
Oh, she the prototype?
She is but
in her eyes, Jennifer is just getting a taste of what she went through, and that's why she's laughing while the world is watching J-Hud crumble. But here's where it gets messy. Some fans think this whole situation might actually be the perfect opening for Tiffany to slide back in. She's made it clear time and time again that she's still hung up on Common, and let's be real, rumors of him having a side chick wouldn't scare her off for a second. If there was even the tiniest chance to win him back, Tiffany would be right there whispering, "Come close to me, baby." And it's not like people forgot how things went down the first time around. When Tiffany and Common first got together, it was so obvious she was way more invested than he was. She's the one who pushed for them to go public during the pandemic, making sure everybody saw them as a couple. They even quarantined together, and Tiffany went out of her way to show him off.
as an artist, as a human being, she's a special individual. And man, it's just, I'm just grateful for it. I thank God, and yes, we are good.
Like that one Instagram live with Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, where she tilted the camera just enough to flaunt her man. She was head over heels. Tiffany couldn't stop gushing about Common, especially around his birthday, talking nonstop about how much she wanted to make it special. In one interview, she even laid out her dream plan, saying, "I'm just hoping me and my man, we go hot air ballooning and have us a nice little meal." Tiffany once shared how much birthdays meant to her. On her 39th, she got tipsy with her grandma for the first time ever. And on her 40th, she threw herself a full-blown bat mitzvah party that she called super fun. So when her 41st rolled around, she had one simple dream. She wanted to float up in a hot air balloon with her man. But Common, he didn't just skip out on the hot air balloon idea. He didn't plan anything for her big day at all. Sources say he sent her some flowers, but let's be real. That's the bare minimum you can do for your woman's birthday, especially when she's out here openly gushing about you. Tiffany had high hopes, though. She even admitted she wanted more than just love. She was dreaming about marriage. In fact, she told people she wanted him to propose with an apartment building instead of a ring so they could build something real together. But when it came time for Common to step up, his actions said it all. Instead of matching her energy, he made it crystal clear he was only in it for the fun, not for the forever. And just a few months later, the whole thing crumbled. Fans were low-key relieved, saying Tiffany had finally broken free from what they called Common's chokehold. Here's the kicker, though. The breakup wasn't Tiffany's decision. Common was the one who pulled the plug, and then he tried to spin the whole thing by blaming it on their busy schedules. Like, really? After everything Tiffany put into that relationship, he brushed it off like it was just bad timing. Tiffany wasn't about to let Common skate by with that weak busy schedules excuse. She clapped back with her own truth, saying he might just be the type of man who never settles with anyone. She even compared him to a bee, buzzing from flower to flower, never staying in one place. That comment alone had people raising eyebrows, wondering if she was low-key, hinting that Common cheated on her. But notice, she never came right out and said it. And when he moved on with Jennifer Hudson, Tiffany didn't stay quiet then either. In an interview, she admitted, "It was the healthiest, the funnest relationship I ever had. It's where I felt safest out of all the relationships I ever had. The breakup wasn't mutual. It was more him saying, 'I think this relationship is running its course.' And I was like, okay, like you gonna be a 50-year-old single man? Okay." That hit hard because now it looks like Tiffany is watching Jennifer Hudson go through the exact same script. Same love story, same promises, same ending. But here's the craziest part. Jennifer and Tiffany are far from the only women who've gone through this with Common. His heartbreak trail goes way back, stacked with famous names.
Marriage is something that if I were to get married,
We're talking Serena Williams, Taraji P. Henson, Erykah Badu, and more. And every single time, it's the same exact story. Starts hot, looks promising, then crashes and burns when Common decides he's done. Fans are starting to wonder if Jennifer Hudson was ever special to him at all, or just the latest stop in his long-running pattern. Now here's where things really start to get wild, because word on the block is that Jennifer Hudson has been spiraling since the breakup. Insiders claim she's been trying hard to put on a brave face in public, but behind closed doors, the heartbreak is eating her alive. She thought she finally found her forever with Common, and now she's left piecing herself back together while the whole world is watching. People close to her say she's been throwing herself into work just to keep her mind busy, but the streets won't let her breathe. Everywhere she goes, folks are whispering about Common and his new woman. And Jennifer, she's been hearing it too, which makes the sting cut even deeper. Meanwhile, Common is out here moving like nothing happened, smiling for the cameras, showing up at events, and even letting his new lady catch the spotlight by his side. That's got everyone asking, who is she and how did she manage to grab his attention so fast after Jennifer? Tiffany Haddish, of course, is eating this all up. She's been dropping sly comments, reposting shady memes, and making sure the world knows she called this ending way before it happened. Some fans think Tiffany is jealous, others think she's just vindicated, but either way, she's keeping her foot on Jennifer's neck, laughing while J-Hud is hurting. Now the buzz is louder than ever. Jennifer's heartbreak, Tiffany's petty revenge, and Common's mysterious new romance are all colliding into one giant storm of drama. Just when a woman starts getting attached, Common hits her with the classic psych, calls it quits, and then slides right onto the next woman like nothing happened. What's really telling is that none of his exes seem to keep things cool with him afterward, especially Erykah Badu, and that's because, according to the whispers, he did every single one of them dirty in his own way. Let's rewind for context. Common and Erykah Badu started dating back in 2000, and they stayed together for about 2 years before she finally pulled the plug in late 2002. At first, Erykah stayed quiet and kept the breakup details close to her chest. But Common, he had no issue running his mouth to the world. He claimed the breakup happened because Erykah caught feelings for another man and straight up dumped him over the phone. He told people, "She handed it to me. I was in my hotel room on tour and she called me like, hey, I don't want to be in this relationship no more." I'm like, it's somebody else. Common even admitted that Erykah was his first love and his first real heartbreak. He said, "That was my first love, where you just open and floating. When we split, I was 27 to 28. I was in a haze just going through the motions. It was hard to ease." But here's the twist. Erykah eventually got tired of him pushing his version of the breakup like she was the villain. That's when she started dropping her own hints. She never outright told all the details, but she threw shade suggesting that infidelity might have been part of the story. In one interview, she said, "No, infidelity is not a deal breaker for me. We are all born sexual beings. I myself am not someone with a very high libido. I don't require intimacy for happiness." Erykah once said it plain, "I need companionship. I need a partner I can depend on, that I can love and grow with." But she also admitted she understood the nature of the men she'd been with, how so many of them always feel the need to chase, and that's exactly where the drama with Common sits. Because even though he allegedly cheated on her, he still managed to spin the breakup as her fault, claiming she caught feelings for another man. That's not just messy, that's straight up manipulative. And when I say this man has a bad rap, I mean it. Common has built a whole history of messy endings, but after his breakup with political commentator Angela Rye, he suddenly tried to switch the narrative. Out of nowhere, he started talking about how he had gone to therapy, how he was working on himself, and how he was finally ready to be a better partner. He painted himself like a man who had turned the corner, all healed and mature. But judging from how things went down with Jennifer Hudson, it's clear therapy didn't fix much at all. If anything, people are saying he might as well ask his therapist for a full refund. Because while he was out here smiling in interviews, talking about how Jennifer was the one, and even hinting at marriage, rumors say he was cheating on her the entire time. What makes this whole situation with Common even worse is that Jennifer Hudson has already been through more than enough heartbreak in her life, and she didn't deserve to be dragged through another messy ending. Remember her relationship with wrestler David Otunga? That chapter started out like a fairy tale, but quickly took a dark and tragic turn. Just weeks after she got engaged, Jennifer's world was shattered when her mother, brother, and young nephew were tragically taken by her brother-in-law. It was an unimaginable pain, one that could have broken anyone completely. In that dark moment, Jennifer needed stability more than anything, and David Otunga stepped up big time. He stood by her side, planned quiet getaways to help her breathe again, and gave her space to start healing after a loss most people couldn't even imagine. Then, like a ray of light after endless darkness, Jennifer found joy again. Later that same year, she became pregnant, and by 2009, she and David welcomed their son, David Jr. For a while, it looked like her little family was finally falling into place, like life was giving her the happiness she had long been denied. But by 2010, cracks started to show. They had been engaged for over 2 years, and fans kept asking when they'd finally tie the knot. Rumors swirled that the wedding was set for that year, but it was quietly pushed back. Eventually, the fairy tale crumbled and they called it quits. But this breakup was anything but peaceful. As the relationship unraveled, Jennifer accused David of becoming aggressive, controlling, and even threatening toward her and their son. She alleged the situation escalated to harassment, intimidation, and even forms of abuse, both mental and physical. What once looked like a safe haven had turned into another painful battle for Jennifer, and she carried those scars into every relationship that came after. As things spiraled completely out of control, Jennifer claimed David sent her chilling messages that left her so shaken she had to call security just to make sure he wouldn't show up at the studio and cause chaos. Thankfully, he never appeared there, but according to Jennifer, the nightmare wasn't over. Later that same day, she alleged David was waiting for her at home. She said he confronted her, grabbed their young son by the arm, and dragged him upstairs to the master bedroom, then shoved her out of the room while still clutching their child's hand. So yes, Jennifer Hudson absolutely deserved better than that toxic situation. But let's be real. Was Common ever really an upgrade? Because if we're honest, it doesn't look like he was ever going to be the man she needed either. Jennifer went from one heartbreak to another, and now she's just the latest name on Common's long list of women left behind. And in true Common fashion, you already know how this goes. He won't sit around single for long. It's only a matter of time before he quietly soft launches his next romance, parading around like nothing ever happened. Same cycle, different woman. Meanwhile, Tiffany Haddish is sitting back loving every single second of it. She's not just cracking jokes at Jennifer's expense. She's cracking the whole situation wide open, reminding everybody that she warned the world about Common's ways long before J-Hud ever learned the hard way. Tiffany's shade isn't random. It's her way of saying, see, I told you so. Jennifer's name is smack in the middle of all this chaos, while Common is already flaunting his new flame like nothing ever went down. And Tiffany, she's making sure the world has front row seats to the drama, dropping her shade like confetti at a parade. Now everybody's left asking, was Tiffany just being playful, or did she rip open some deep old wounds that Jennifer Hudson is still struggling to heal? One thing's for sure, and two things for certain, this saga is nowhere near finished. If you thought the drama so far was wild, just wait, because the next chapter is about to be even juicier, with whispers that Jennifer might actually be trying to win Common back. Can you even imagine the mess if that turns out to be true? This story is only heating up, and trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on? Team Tiffany, Team J-Hud, or Team Common's the problem? I'll see you in the next one.